Hey friends, it's Michael Golzmane here. Thanks for joining me again in this video. We've been exploring money as a manifestation of spiritual consciousness in this series of videos. So I've stated before, and of course I'm not the first person to state this, I'm just sort of coagulating a couple of pieces of information for you in these videos to help people who are struggling with money, who are wanting to come at it from a spiritual perspective. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't. So money is a physicalization of a state of awareness. And ultimately, even though money may seem to, a certain check or a certain piece of cash may seem to come to you from your employer or from some particular source, in back of all of that is a spiritual realm and a spiritual consciousness. Some people call it God, some people call it source, or they call it the unified field, or they call it spirit. And the ultimate challenges we have around how do we get out of the karmic programming, perhaps, of ourselves or of our family lineage. If certain people in our family have never made more than a certain amount, or if we've struggled with money for years despite shifts in career, shifts in employer, we've never made beyond a certain point, there's a limitation in our consciousness. It's not God punishing us for something. There is no God that does that. It is our own limited thinking that we have had for eons of time since our soul's creation. That limited thinking, when it does not get cleared, when it doesn't get released, when it doesn't get uprooted and released and replaced with some sort of higher vibration thinking, continues to manifest in logical sequential ordering with the vibration of that original thinking. This can be difficult to accept initially, and it can be challenging for us to really see that we are ultimately responsible no matter what we've been born into, no matter what our job situation, no matter what physical situation we might feel like we're in, that ultimately we can change things through our consciousness. So becoming more thinking like our source, thinking like God, becoming more conscious like spirit, that's actually who we are anyway. We have the power to either become a clear channel for divine consciousness to manifest through us as money, as healing, as positive relationships, or we can restrict the flow of divine consciousness through fear, through anxiety, through stress, and through habitual thinking that we may not even be aware of. So in this video today, we're going to do more clearing. We're going to be using this spiritual response therapy technique to help clear the subconscious mind of limiting thinking and beliefs. So let's get into that now. So I just invite you wherever you are to take a deep breath. Spirit, please gather all the people who are watching this video into this energy now, please, and please scan them all, no matter when they may be watching the video, so that we can get clear, specific information and that you know exactly, Spirit, exactly what is coming up for them, what their negative or discordant thinking is. So just take a deep breath, friends, and just relax. This process is all about letting go and letting God. There's nothing you have to do in the process other than breathe and just be aware of what you're thinking. Just be not be aware of what you're thinking. Just be aware of what you're feeling during the course of this clearing. Spirit will present you understand. So Spirit, we ask you to please apply a spiritual kick to everyone watching now, please, and please prep and clear each person's high self, soul, spiritual teams, committees, angels, guides, and guardian angels now. So we're going to do an initial process here, which just has to do with aligning ourselves with what's called the higher self or the superconscious mind. This is the part of us that can go in and can actually clear out these subconscious beliefs without us having to be in hypnosis or us even having to consciously know what they are. We can tell that it's being done because our state of feeling and our state of awareness begins to really rise, begins to really clear and release as we're doing this process. So just be aware. If you watched some of my videos in the past, you may be aware of this process happening throughout these different videos. So just be aware of your own internal environment as you're watching this. Spirit, keep doing this initial process, please. Wonderful. Releasing and breathing. You're doing great. What's the minimum amount this is accomplished for any person in this group? Spirit saying 100%. So we're going to base this clearing today on some particular affirmations. And this is beneficial for a couple reasons. One, is that it gives us a focal point for the clearing. We want to clear to a place of really realizing with our being, really embodying, embracing, accepting the truth of a certain statement. Very hard to do that just by repeating a statement. People who are into affirmations tell you repeat the affirmation 100 times a day or 300 times a day or whatever. And even when you do that, it's very difficult to really root out all the contradictory beliefs in the subconscious. We can do that, though, by working with the higher self. So the first affirmation I want to work with today is, I lift my consciousness into the atmosphere of pure spirit, and I realize God as the source of money. Okay, again, the term God is triggery for some, not so much for me. I'm not meaning a dude up in the sky. I'm meaning spirit. I'm meaning source consciousness. So again, that affirmation that we're going to clear around right now is, I lift my consciousness into the atmosphere of pure spirit, and I realize God as the source of money. Spirit, what's the minimum resonance anyone in this group has with that? And that's 0. So at some point along the line of someone watching this video, there will be a complete contradiction of that awareness. It might be you. It might be you. Even watching this video multiple times, you may have that contradiction appear sometimes. That means that there's no part of your being that's really in resonance, or there's so much clouded up, there's so much money, fear, or resistance, or unresolved issues around anger and resentment, or all the other things that can keep us back from being in that flow of spirit that brings money, that we may not have a realization of this belief at all. But let's ask the power of spirit to come in and help us to clear subconscious programming around this particular belief. So Spirit, for everyone watching, we ask you to please apply a spiritual kick and please clear, cancel, burn, remove, and delete 100% of all dormant and active programs, contracts, vows, beliefs, perceptions, and judgments that are in any way limiting the 100% full realization, acceptance, resonance, embodiment, and awareness of this belief. I lift my consciousness into the atmosphere of pure spirit and realize God as the source of money. Please, Spirit, clear for each person through all of their bodies, all of their minds, all of their levels, all lifetimes, all realities. Just keep clearing and bring us each into a minimum in all of the different forms of our spiritual anatomy, Spirit, a minimum of 100% full acceptance and realization of this particular belief now. So just breathe, friends. You might feel like a little bit almost like a lightheadedness. Some people feel that. You might feel also a heaviness in the head sometimes. This works particularly with the way the brain receives the thought energy. The thoughts are not stored physically in the brain per se, but the brain is our channel, our organ of awareness and perception. And so working with spirit in this way right now is helping to clear those particular pathways of, when we think a certain way, we tend to think that way more going into the future. That's partly the law of attraction. That's just also, we're programming our consciousness, whether it's with fear and worry or whether it's with abundance and joy. We're programming our consciousness with every thought that we think. So that those old past patterns are beginning to get released now. Again, we're not clearing your memories by doing this work. We're just simply clearing the sort of attachment, the unresolved, and the stuck quality around certain thought forms that you may have had for eons of time, perhaps. Even inherited. We inherit a lot of thought energy from our ancestors. So that's also getting cleared now. Spirit, keep clearing till each person's at 100% realization. Feel what you're feeling right now. This is feeling so good. Beautiful. Be aware of what you're feeling and thinking right now. Not everyone feels this work completely viscerally in their system. That you might notice shifts and changes happening days, weeks, hours ahead of this after watching this video. Some people do feel it very strongly though while they're listening or paying attention to a clearing like this. So what's the minimum amount anyone realizes that in this group? Experiencing 100%. We're going to clear another affirmation now. This is so again, before we move on, I want you to think. You might want to write this down or repeat to yourself. I lift my consciousness into the atmosphere of pure spirit, and I realize God as the source of money. I want you to just be still and know that particular phrase for a moment. Feel that within yourself. As you contemplate that affirmation, notice that after a clearing like this, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of a subconscious contradiction or limitation to that ability being able to be accepted by your consciousness. When we don't have contradiction within our subconscious, and we use an affirmation like that, it can then go in and really sort of plant into the soil of our mind. And it's not so much, again, then that, well, we're expecting some separative force called God up in the clouds somewhere to bring us all of the things that we're looking for. The non-physical consciousness is embodied within us and is not separate from us. And therefore, we also need to take inspired, aligned, conscious action as we are guided, not through a space of force, but through a space of co-creation and positive action with Spirit. So you see how that works? It's not like, again, sitting back, relaxing, and expecting some external deity to bring you something. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about you embodying the consciousness. Spirit's already given everything to Spirit as a presence, not a person. And therefore, you're able to move into your awareness, move into your action, move into your life through thoughts, through actions, through emotions that are aligned with the spiritual consciousness. So let's take a look at another affirmation. There is no limitation or lack in spiritual consciousness. Let me say that again. There is no limitation or lack in spiritual consciousness. So we might be looking at our bank account, the world of 5 sense reality, and saying, oh, look at that, there's lack there, there's limitation. I can't do everything that I want to do, or I don't have enough for some particular purpose. It's important when we're doing clearing, spiritual clearing around money, that we take our eyes off of 5 sense reality temporarily, off of the world of effects. Money is an effect. Your bank account is an effect. But the source is in the non-physical. The cause of abundance is in the non-physical, and therefore there's no lack of limitation in spiritual consciousness. Spirit, what's the minimum amount anyone in this group resonates with that and believes that? Spirit's saying about 2%. Spirit, please apply a spiritual kick. We ask you to please clear, cancel, burn, remove, and delete 100% of all dormant and active programs, contracts, vows, beliefs, perceptions, judgments that are in any way limiting the full 100% consciousness, awareness, and realization that there is no lack or limitation in spiritual consciousness whatsoever. That in cause, as we connect and lift our consciousness into the realm of cause, God, Spirit, Source, Consciousness, that we lift our eyes above the world of effects and go back and connect with a place where there is no lack and limitation. We realize there is no lack or limitation there. And therefore, as we connect into that awareness within ourselves, as we accept that as our true source, accept that as our true reality, we cannot help but manifest like our source. We cannot help but manifest like true divine spiritual reality. That's what happens. We are God's children. We have the essence of God within us, essence of Spirit. And therefore, as much as to the degree to which we accept and receive that within our own being, to that degree we can manifest and create like our source. Not separate from our source, but with our source. And when we create with our source, we create, what does it look like? It's going to look loving. It's going to look peace-filled, joy-filled, abundant, serving others. It's not going to be selfishness. It's not to say it's not going to be abundant. But it's not going to be for the purposes of hoarding, for the purposes of simply selfish desire where I get my stuff and you don't get your stuff. It's for the purpose of we're here to share, to co-create, to serve, to open. That's what it looks like when we create with Spirit. Spirit, please clear everyone at all levels of their being, all bodies and minds and levels, to 100% realization of this affirmation. There was no limitation or lack in spiritual consciousness. Where's the minimum amount of realization of that, Spirit? Anyway, anything that contradicts that in this group, Spirit's saying no. We've cleared to 100% realization at this moment. Feel that. Now I want you to, again, and now that we've cleared subconscious contradiction, as much as I can tell, again, I don't know who's going to be watching this video, so it's a little bit less personalized than if I was working with you one-on-one, but Spirit knows how to do this work. We're just holding that space for you. Think and feel into the affirmation, there is no limitation or lack in spiritual consciousness. I want you to just feel that in your being. Don't look for reasons in your being to say, well, that's not true because. Remember, you can create whatever contradictory thought form you want to that belief now, but why would you? So we've cleared a lot of the subconscious beliefs and programs that are up in your soul revealed right now around this so that you can perfectly plant this particular belief into the soil of your consciousness, and it needs to manifest. It will manifest according to spiritual principle. If you're not contradicting God, then God can only do its work in, through, and as you, which is always perfect abundance and health and healing and love and joy. Again, this may take time because we live in three-dimensional reality. This may take time to manifest, but staying saturated in that consciousness of divine awareness is only going to help you to be able to manifest over the course of time, to be able to open, to release more as it comes up. So, Spirit, we ask you to please also check and clear everything else that is coming up for any person in this group now. Anything that we need to clear, Spirit, please just check everything through infinity that each person needs to have cleared, and clear it for them now. Also make sure to clear anything that would contradict or limit the maximum efficacy of this clearing today for any person in this group. Clear any tendencies, addictions, programs, beliefs, Spirit, that would tend to recreate or create anew anything that we have cleared during the course of this or any previous clearing anyone's ever received. Make sure each person watching this video is cleared to 100% allowing of this clearing and a maximum of 0% blocking. Just take a deep breath, friends. Again, what you think after this recording is up to you. You can think more in alignment with what we're talking about here today, or you can think you can go back into fear, stress, limitation. It makes it easier to not do that by having the subconscious stuff cleared. So we're clearing a tremendous amount of stuff for you right now. Just keep breathing and relaxing, noticing what's shifting with you. What's the minimum amount, Spirit, anyone in this group will allow? At maximum, they will block. Anything else to clear? Spirit's saying we're done for today. So, friends, thank you for watching this video. If you want more personalized connection, please feel free to click below. Go to my website, clearandconnect.com. Drop me a note. I'd love to hear from you. Till next time, friends, peace and blessings of abundance to you.